Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Mark Wagner, CEO of EdTech Team. I'm a former high school English teacher, and I've had the good fortune to be an education technology coordinator at the site, district, and county levels. About 10 years ago, I left my job at the county office and started EdTech Team. It's something of a dream job for me, getting to work with the team that I work with and getting to work with educators all over the world, getting to visit schools all over the world and learn from them what makes a future-ready school. This year we'll produce over 100 summits worldwide in at least 26 states and 23 countries. We'll see over 50,000 educators like yourselves who have decided to join us, oftentimes giving up their weekends. These are people that you can connect with if you follow the hashtag and join our community and extend your learning beyond the end of this event. We've done all of these events and we run this community with one goal, and that is to inspire and empower educators to change schools for the better. When I was a Google Glass explorer a couple of years ago, when I got invited to spend $1,500 on Google Glass, I was a little ambivalent about that. I wasn't so sure that that was well-spent money until I got the box in the mail. When I opened the box, there's a little piece of paper, of all things, physical paper, and on it said, "You are a pioneer, a founder, and an architect of what's possible." However you feel about Google Glass, that sense of excitement I felt about being an architect of the possible is exactly how I feel about our work as educators and educational technologists. Google is no stranger to being an architect of the possible. We saw this, of course, in Google Glass. We've seen it in Google Wear Sense, where a lot of the innovations of glass went into a new device. We've seen it in their Project Loon, where they're putting balloons into the stratosphere to provide internet access to areas of the world that don't yet have it. We see it in the self-driving car, of course. Google is attacking large problems as they build our future for us. We've seen it in projects that you might not have thought would have a big impact on education, something like Google Cardboard, where they take a few dollars worth of cardboard and fold it around your phone and give you a stereoscopic view of virtual reality. It turns out you get a team of educators and engineers together, and they'll take the virtual reality Google Cardboard, they'll take their existing street view imagery and some amazing new imagery that they're adding to that library every day, and they'll build something like Google Expeditions, which allows us to take virtual field trips from the classroom to exotic locations all over the world, places you never could take a field trip in a bus, including the planet Mars. And I'm sure there'll be more to come. I couldn't be more excited about that. So it's interesting to see that when they dream big and they take it upon themselves to be architects of our future, we're able to turn around and then apply that in the classroom with our students and apply that to learning more about our world and in turn creating our future. Schools are also no strangers to this process. One of my favorite examples is a school called Albany Senior High School, just outside Albany in Auckland, New Zealand. It's ordinary, well, hardly ordinary, but an ordinary public school where they had an opportunity a few years ago to rebuild the facilities. And they took the opportunity then to engage architects and research around what makes a high-functioning collaborative environment. And they created a school that, frankly, looks a whole lot like a Google office. Wide, open, common learning spaces rather than classrooms. They literally have no classrooms. A guy named Mark Osborne, who was the assistant principal there when I first visited, took us on a tour, and we played a game called Where's the Teacher? And he told us if you can win that game, they're doing it wrong. So here's a picture of Mark Osborne doing it right as he offers professional development for some of his staff. And here's a picture of one of our workshops, and I like to think that we're doing it right because I'm not sure you can win the Where's the Teacher game in this picture. And here's a picture of actual students at Albany Senior High School. You can see how they've got flexible furniture. They can move around the space. They're using their whiteboards as dividers. And I've got my idea about who I think the teacher might be in this picture, but it's not an easy game to win. One of the other things that impressed me about that school is that student agency is baked right in across everything they do. You may have heard of Google's 20% time initiative that encourages Google employees to spend 80% of their time on what they were hired to do, but then spend another 20% of their work time taking on a project related to their own interests and their own passions. So we see a lot of products like Gmail and Google Scholar, and the little button that you click on your phone to call a business when you do a search, came out of Google 20% time. It's the innovation engine at their company. But at Albany Senior High School, they give 20% time to their students. Every student, every Wednesday, all day long, works on their impact project. They have to make a proposal to 3 staff members who need to sign off on it, and then they're off to the races. They build cars and paint murals and write software, and the evidence of their projects are all over the school. Here's 2 boys at the school working on their windmill. It's actually generating power as they're learning about sustainable energy sources. When we visited, we saw people planting gardens. We saw so much rich evidence of student learning and student agency all over the school. One of the other things they did right at Albany Senior High School is they decided they weren't going to spend a lot of money on proprietary software, and the entire school is using open source software. So not only did this save them money, but it created a culture in which the students are encouraged to tinker with their software and to create software themselves. Albany Senior High School is one example of what we consider a future-ready school. We've been impressed by so many of our hosts over the last couple of years, but these schools look wildly different. However, we think they share certain elements in common. When we ask ourselves what makes a future-ready school, we come back to these 4 things. Courageous leadership, like Mark Osborne and the role that he played in redesigning that space and the tours he took us on playing Find the Teacher. A focus on empowering their teachers, providing them the professional development that they need, providing a culture where they feel free to take risks and where it's okay to fail from time to time as long as they're failing forward. A focus on student agency is absolutely critical in the schools that have impressed us, in the schools where we see things like Albany Senior High School's 20% project. And also, these schools don't look like ordinary schools. We found that all of them have inspiring spaces or inspiring learning spaces where all of this takes place. We're interested in, of course, the technology and infrastructure that supports a future-ready school, but only in as much as it supports courageous leadership, empowered teachers, a focus on student agency, and inspiring spaces. This honeycomb is a visual illustration of how we feel about future-ready schools. We've got those 4 elements over the top with the infrastructure, hardware, and software supporting them underneath. As I wrap up this message, I want to leave you with this thought once again. You are an architect of the possible. We're thrilled to work with innovative educators like you all over the globe to improve schools using the best technology and best learning principles available. I hope to see you all online more soon.